Hi, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different here. So to Catholics and Protestants watching this video, this is going to be a bit different for you. And I'm going to have to do a part 2 of my spiritual journey video at some point. I'm going to be talking about a spiritual book that I know Laurent. He's one of the two authors. I first met him in 1999, and his co-author Laxmi and him did a video a while back that I saw. And when I first saw on Facebook Laurent was working on this book, I reached out to him to see if I could review this book, and I'm going to review that in a minute, but first I need to give you some information about one of the subjects that's brought up in the book. So for Protestants and Catholics, there is a spiritual leader from India who lived from 1895 to 1969 called, he was known by his followers as Meher Baba, Meherbaba. He was born Merwin, Irani, and his followers believe him to be the avatar of the age, which he claimed to be. Now, the concept of avatar is the idea of God coming down to earth and pushing mankind forward. It's kind of similar to our Christian concept of incarnation, but it's also a little bit different, which I'll have to go into more in the part 2 of my spiritual journey video. But for now, I'm going to, before I do the review of the book, I'm going to show you a couple pictures of Baba. This is a picture of Meher Baba with his most famous phrase, "Don't worry, be happy," which he said long before Bobby McFerrin wrote his 1980s hit, "Don't Worry, Be Happy." So here is a picture from the 1920s, about 2 years after Meher Baba started his voluntary silence, where he communicated to his followers with a letter board, which he would point to letters, and one of his closest followers would tell everybody what the message was. Then later on he switched to a kind of sign language type gestures that allowed him to explain more detailed philosophical and spiritual concepts. So that is a subject that is brought up in this book. Both Laxmi and Laurent each have, they each write separate chapters in the book, and at the beginning of each chapter it tells you who wrote what chapters. Here, I'll show you the title page. Here's this title page and the copyright page, which you usually see me show when I'm showing a Bible. You can get this on Amazon. I will include a link to this to Amazon, and I will see if there's another link that Laurent would want me to include. So next is the table of contents, and as you can see, it lists here on the table of contents who wrote what chapter, and at the beginning of each chapter it tells you who wrote which chapter. And there's also journaling prompts at the end of each chapter. So there's that. And then there's some illustrations at the beginning of each chapter. And there's even some pictures. I'm going to try and see if I can skip the pictures, because I'm not sure if the authors want me to show the photographs other than that one that Laurent wanted me to show of Baba. Like, there's a section in here on religion in America that Laxmi wrote. And let's see if I can get to the end of the chapter. Like, here, it's got like journaling prompts and one to go deeper things. And in the back, there's, I'll show in a minute, there's a section of end notes. So you can also use that to go to further resources too. But I would say Christians should read this book because even though the concepts are more Eastern religion oriented, Christians can still learn from it. But it's up to each individual Christian whether they want it to be learning from it in the sense of more knowledge about religion or application that they can apply to their spiritual path. So, I thought I'd make that quick note. Let me see if I can get to one of Laurent's chapters. I don't know, either I'm jumping Laurent chapters. Laurent, if you're watching this, sorry, I'm trying to get to one of your chapters. Oh, here we go. So here's the beginning of one of Laurent's chapters. So you have the lesson number, the author, the title for the chapter, a subtitle, some quotes, and they tell you where the quotes are from. And then it goes into the chapter. Oh, that's cool. And after on the page we mentioned Thomas Merton. Thomas Merton, for the Protestants watching, Thomas Merton was a monk that has written a lot of really good books on Christian spirituality. He's popular with a lot of the my fellow Catholics that I am going to church with. My RCIA teacher, she brought him up quite a bit in my lessons. So he's somebody I want to learn more about. And like I said before, there are subheadings. So it's laid out in a really good way for reading. And I feel like this is the kind of book where you should read it cover to cover, or you can read it by going to the chapters that you feel like you should be reading. I feel like you could read it either of those two ways. And my particular copy seems to have enough of a margin to where if I wanted to do putting some notes in the margins, well, with this being a signed copy, I'm probably not going to do that. But sometimes with books, I like to write notes in the margins, especially spirituality books. And I also like highlighting stuff. And the font in this seems like it would be really good for being able to do a really nice, neat highlighting in it. And the paper is really good paper for a book. I think there would not be any bleed through if you used like a micron pen and dry highlighters. I don't think you'd have any bleed through if you wanted to take notes or highlight in your copy. And then, like I said, there is a section of endnotes at the back. I'm almost there. Oh, here we go. So, like, the notes will give you, like, the source for where they got quotes and stuff, so that way if you want to go to these quotes yourself and study further, and also when they quote the Bible, they give you the Bible translation, which I'm sure a lot of the Christians watching this will be glad to know that they can know what Bible translation is used. And in this case, for this particular note, they used the NIV version, which is very popular among evangelicals. So there's that, and then we get to the back of the book and the ISBN. Here's a picture of Laurent and Laxmi. I'll show the front cover again in a minute, but I thought I'd read a little bit of the back cover. 21 Spiritual Lessons for the 21st Century is a guide for millennials and Gen Zers to connect with the divine. It can serve as an access point for anyone looking to deepen their life. I'm Gen X, but I think even Gen X will get something out of this book too. It is written from two very different perspectives, a wild woman millennial and a middle-aged Gen X father. Both authors have extraordinary respect for the other's spiritual path and want to share lessons from their direct experiences through 21 spiritual themes. Laxmi and Laurent break down some milestones of spiritual life and highlight how to live them out in the fast-paced, technology-forward world. And it also gives you brief biographies of both of them. And here's the ISBN. In case you want to Google the ISBN, pause it and Google the ISBN. And Laxmi's last name is Dady, and Laurent's last name is Weichberger. So I just thought this would be a really good book to share with everybody to know about. I did get this, Laurent did send me this copy, but I do think it's a really good book, worth reading, whether you're a part of their spiritual paths or a Christian or anyone else. I think anybody can benefit from deepening their spirituality, because the time we're living in, with all that's going on in the world right now, we could all use as much spirituality as we can and draw as close to God as we can to help us through all of this craziness that's going on in the world right now. So I'd like to thank Laurent for sending me the book. I read it through a PDF he sent me. I did not read the physical copy, just so I'm upfront about that. That's why it doesn't look dog-eared and all highlighted up. If anyone has any questions about this book, I'll do my best to answer your questions in the comments. And if I can't answer a question, I will try and pass along questions to Laurent and see if he might be able to answer them, or if he can pass questions along to Laxmi, and maybe she might be able to answer some questions too. Thank you to Laurent for sending me the book, and I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video, and have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.